Leon assumed that he had nothing to do with them and walked to the exit. The bodyguard followed him to open the door, keeping the distance and the coolness, not saying a word until he was far enough from Martha so she couldn't hear. "Call this number," the bodyguard told him before opening the door. Leon took the card the bodyguard offered and kept it into the pocket of the jacket, but he didn't look what it said. He left the house and didn't mind about the curfew until he saw one of the yellow watch patrol. He thought quickly about the excuse he was going to tell them. He would say that he couldn't sleep and had gone out for a walk, hoping that the weakness of the excuse would be wrapped by the rest of his wife's influence. The car stopped next to Leon. He pretended not to see it, but they told him to look at them. They looked at his face from the inside of the car with a torch blinding him. "You shouldn't be on the street at this time," the driver said. "I know it, Ward, I know it. But I couldn't sleep," Leon explained with clumsiness. "That's what all say," the driver said again. "Do you live around here?" the other one asked. "Yes, on the 20th, Leon answered. The Wards looked at each other and ghost a malicious smile. "Well, you should better hurry up and make sure this is the last time we see you," the driver said, angry. Leon looked down and hurried up as the word ordered. The 4 or 5 meters to his home let him value how much had decreased his status. Days ago the Wards would be the ones looking down for having interrupted the walking of a yellow government leader's spouse. The malicious smile would ghost from his lips, seeing the Ward's despair, imagining the punishment they would receive. But now it was the one looking down, the one lasting the needed seconds to arrive home, the one in a hurry to open the door, and the one who breathed with relief once inside after closing it. He left the jacket on the coat rack of the hall. He went to the living room and sat down on the sofa, defeated. He didn't remember the bodyguard's card, neither checked if his daughter was sleeping peacefully in her bed. He took a caution, took off his shoes, and started to sleep with the intention of not waking up. The babysitter prepared his breakfast and left once the kid and the father were ready for the day. She made things with such care that the loving Leon felt that she would be a good candidate to replace his just murdered wife, and he didn't thought it only for the way she had made breakfast. It was the servant asking if he wanted her to take the jacket to the dry cleaners who reminded him he had a card in the pocket that deserved his attention, and that it maybe was too soon to think in a second marriage. The card had a phone number from the outside. He had never dialed one, but had heard several times his wife ordered to dial one of that phone's number with a lot of figures. He said no when the servant told him that it was too soon to send Bella back to school. He said that play with the other kids made her forget the sadness he was suffering. The servant looked at him with a snap. She thought he wasn't right. She hadn't kids, but she felt it wasn't right not to give the poor kid a single day of relief. She thought the girl hadn't the chance of being a real kid like she was. She played on the ground, played basketball, made clothes for the dolls, and she never went to school in the summer, not even to play on the background without permission. She also talked at him with a snap because she saw how he looked at the babysitter, and although her loyalty to Edina didn't go far from her necessity of eating 5 times a day, she didn't think it was well. Leon didn't felt her penalized looks neither traumatize his daughter nor risk her too soon to the rest of the kid's cruelty. He only needed a bit of privacy to dial that phone call with a steady hand. "Hello, I am," Leon started to say. "No names," a voice mechanically distorted. "Well, of course, excuse me," Leon apologized. "You have exactly 30 seconds before the end of the call," the boy said. "I want to see my wife again. The yellow government killed her," Leon explained before the mechanic voice interrupted him. "What a news," the boy said.